1964 Cadillac Sedan DeVille. Beautiful car, great lines, cool piece of American history here. This car is not showroom condition or a perfect restoration, but it's really in great shape and has been well taken care of. I'm going to walk around and show you this car panel by panel, inside and out, and let you know first off that the car has been painted. It'd be nearly impossible for a car this age to look this good without having had some paint work done on it. The paint looks great. It's really in good shape. It's a nice smooth finish. There's really no dings, dents, scratches, or major issues on this car at the time being. Starting here on the right fender, let's walk around. Looks great there. Front right door, also excellent shape. Rear right door, very nice. You'll notice as we're going along and around this car, lots of chrome trim and accents, and great attention to detail. The handles, the door locks, the little chrome edge to the door, the molding strip in the middle of the panels, all original and all intact. The chrome molding around the windows, all intact. The chrome molding bevel edge up here on the roof line, also all intact. Rear right quarter panel, excellent. Now the chrome molding strip at the very end of this panel, it's got about a 1-inch section where it looks like it probably scraped on something, and so there is some scraping on the chrome right there. Pretty minimal. The original emblem here, the Sedan DeVille in chrome, is intact and in place. There's also about a 1-inch section on the taillight surround that is scratched as well. Pretty minor. When you stand back a bit, you really don't notice it. It's not the kind of damage that jumps out at you. Pretty minor. Very, very cool lines on this car. The fins there, the taillights are all working. The plastic is in good shape. The rubber gaskets are pliable, reasonably soft. They're not dried out and weathered. In good shape. Cadillac emblem in place and looks good. The chrome on the rear bumper is in pretty darn good shape. The middle of the bumper's got a few dimples here over time where it's had a little bumper parking collision or something like that, but very minor dimples. It takes a lot to dent these old bumpers, and once again, when you stand back just a little bit, you really don't notice it at all. It doesn't jump out. Left quarter panel, beautiful shape. Rear left door, driver's door, also excellent condition. You'll see here on this side as well, all of the chrome is very intact. The rubber seals and gaskets really look very nice all the way around. Left fender, also great shape, and the front hood, beautiful condition. The roof also looks great. All of the glass is intact. There's no major issues with the glass, no big stars or cracks or anything to speak of where the glass is concerned. The chrome on the front on the grille is in excellent shape. The only couple of very small blemishes might be down on the bottom here, a couple little rock chips and some very light surface rust. Would easily go away with a little bit of light steel wool or some chrome polish. Let's take a look inside real quick. The interior looks to me to be original factory leather. It's really in pretty amazing condition for an almost 50-year-old car, and it's got a little bit of weather cracking in the leather, as you can see, but by no means is completely falling apart or would need any intervention if you didn't want to. It's very functional. You can see the back seats are in the same relative condition, actually in a little bit better shape, obviously, because they're less used. Seat belts all have the Cadillac emblem, are original and in good working condition. Center console. The dash is in pretty good shape. There is a crack in the middle of the dash up on top. Rest of the dash looks great. The glass, plastic, and chrome is all in great shape and intact. Original factory AM radio. Visors are in good shape. Headliner is really in amazing condition in this vehicle. It's all intact. As I've looked over it very closely, there's only one very small blemish, and it's right here. It's about a 1/4 inch, very small little cut or tear, hardly noticeable, and it's right there in the middle. Most people wouldn't notice that unless I pointed it out. Door panels are in great shape, more chrome accents. Power windows work. Power seats. Let's take a look at the engine. The engine on this car, as you would well imagine, is not the original configuration. It's been overhauled or rebuilt, and it's really a great job. It's got a lot of horsepower. It's very smooth. It sounds great. It starts right up. Everything works on it. Older cars, and I've had a few, they tend to have sometimes slight electrical draws, and this one does. If you leave it sitting for a long period of time, the battery loses power. So we've put an inline breaker system here, so all you do is you hit the button here, disconnect the battery at that point, and you can leave the battery in the vehicle without having to worry about that. To reconnect, you simply flip the switch and it's good to go. This does have factory air conditioning installed, but as you can see, there's no belt hooked up. It turns freely. The compressor portion also turns freely. There is some resistance, so I can tell there is a pump in there working. The lines look good. They're all intact. I haven't wanted to spend the time or the money to try and hook it up and see if I can get the AC working. So it may be working great. It might need a little bit of time and a little bit of money to get that working perfectly. Let's go ahead and start up the motor. The starter on this motor engages every time. It seems to be in excellent condition. It does have a good battery in there. It's brand new as of today, July 14th. That battery's been new for a couple of weeks now. And plugs and wires all look like they were recently done. They're in great shape. This car doesn't have any noticeable misfires. Once again, it runs very smooth, and it's a very quiet engine. As you can hear, I'm in the engine compartment here, and the engine just purrs. Let's take it for a quick little spin around the block and see how it rolls. It's a nice smooth ride. It just feels like a boat going down the road. There's no noticeable shakes or shimmies in the drivetrain when you're driving this vehicle. The brakes feel good and smooth. The steering feels pretty tight. There's the radio.
I think there were like 2 games left in the season, and he threw that line to beat the Chiefs, and they hit.
You can see that original factory AM radio is actually working. Passenger's door. Well, I think you get the picture here. Old car in pretty darn good condition, and it runs beautifully. See the light there on the turn signal, but right up here on the front 2 flares there are turn turn signal indicators that will flash, and they both work.